All right, we have a new reproduction. This is a reproduction dash Delorean is making to replace the old padded metal ones. It's like a, I don't know if it's ABS plastic, but it looks good. It's about the right color. It's lightweight, and I don't think it will crack. Hopefully it doesn't turn out like a Dodge Dash in the future and become peanut brittle. But Fry has been over here dynamatting or kill matting. What is this stuff called? Kill mat? Using kill mat. No free plug. They didn't give me anything for free, but kill mat, you could please send me some. This would help. So the goal here was to both sound deaden and insulate the wheel wells and underneath of the car. You know, in between here you have transmission, underneath there you have your hot and cold running water, and you have on the floorboards the heat coming off of the back of the radiators blowing onto the bottom of the car. Then you're gonna have the heat coming up off the road. We're gonna be driving this at slow temperatures in Las Vegas, where the pavement gets so hot you can cook on it. A friend of mine actually is in the hospital right now getting skin grafts on his feet because he accidentally walked out onto the sidewalk without shoes and burned his feet so badly that he had to go to the hospital and get, you know, work done. So DeLorean doors have what we call cave drawings. Now it looks like he cleaned it with alcohol just now and wiped them away. Let's go to the other side. It's kind of sad because it's history, you know. I hate to cover it up, but what would happen is the workers would sign their names and write things. You know, you'll find every DeLorean has these in the doors. They call them cave drawings, where they'll write a date, sign their name. But unfortunately, we need to cover that up with insulation. Nobody ever sees that stuff. But you find these little writings on body panels and things hidden here and there. It's kind of funny. All right, so we have this power steering system hooked up. Cole got this done. It's all mounted up under there. And this is just epic. Now, I mean, unless you're a DeLorean guy, you wouldn't understand how great this is. But you turn this on, and you can just turn the wheel. Now, you cannot do that with a regular DeLorean. I mean, look at that. And it makes no noise. It's totally silent, but completely power assisted steering. And the reason that's awesome is that, you know, for this car, we take it in and out of convention centers and all that kind of stuff, and we always have to turn it around. And to be able to just turn the wheel, power steering, you take these things for granted because we're so used to modern cars. But dude, there's no, and there's not a whole lot of slop. I mean, look at that. It's moving, you know what I mean? So there's not a whole ton of slop, but that is cool. I mean, I'm very impressed with that. I wish I had done this years ago. Now, with the key off, here's the difference. All right. Yeah. So that's what it's like to steer this thing normally without the power assisted steering. It's pretty impressive. It's really, really impressive. What do you mean, just cut an entire hole?
Yeah.
So what we want to do here is, this is the factory fuse box for the DeLorean right there. And typically, you know, there's a wood cover for this, and if you need to get to those fuses, unfortunately, it's pretty difficult. You got to remove part of the bulkhead and everything. And I thought, you know, look, this is pretty loose. We could cut a hole or whatever through this back bulkhead. By the way, you ever seen a factory production car with plywood in it? I mean, seriously. Anyway, and we could just cut a hole, a notch, and then move this fuse box to here, where we're going to put like the other one over there, and you would be able to access the factory fuses of the car without having to go up under here. You never need to get to these relays generally, which a lot of these will be replaced and whatnot. You know, this is the door lock module. This is the remote for that. These are some run relays, and those generally aren't a problem. But a fuse isn't too uncommon to blow, especially with a Lucas electrical system. And so by simply notching this, pulling it forward, and then letting it rest and building a little side bracket for it on the other side of the carpet here, you'd be able to access the factory fuses anytime you wanted to. I think that's brilliant. I think that's a really good idea. I don't know what that is.
Because it goes all the way over to that side.
It might be.
That white plug, see right there?
Yeah, that looks factory actually. Yeah. Believe it or not.
It's just the fact it was so long threw me off. Well, and also, here's the thing.
That's what she said.
Wire, I actually traced this.
Because like there's the main harness plug-in that comes in.
The white wire comes off of the radio harness.
I think that's radio related.
It's the remote.
So another thing we're thinking about doing is we usually put the prop battery into this storage compartment that runs the interior props, and we try to keep them separated from the car battery. That's the factory car battery, which is crazy when you think about it, because they're putting a battery on the interior of a vehicle, and batteries are known to let off noxious gases, especially back in the 80s when they were using acid batteries. We use AGMs in here so that doesn't happen. But what I normally do is I put a prop battery here behind the seat, and then I put batteries up in the trunk. I want to put the batteries behind the bulkhead because there's going to be a bulkhead that comes down here. So we're going to have about, maybe 10 inches of clearance back here. We'll build a bracket and we can put the batteries behind here. I don't normally do that for customer cars because the customer is not going to be able to get to the batteries and access them, but we have the skills to do that. So since this is going to be my car, I can hide things in a way like that I wouldn't normally do for a customer car, because they need to be able to access things. And they're never going to be able to take out the bulkhead and whatnot. So I put the batteries where they're easy to get to. And you're discharging these batteries all the time, and so you need to be able to replace them, because about once a year, commercial batteries have to be replaced, especially when they're being used as much as these are. I was considering using golf cart batteries. Golf cart batteries are 6 volt. They're really cheap. And one of the reasons I thought about using golf cart batteries was because they're designed to be drained down and recharged. They're much larger cells. And I could put 2 6-volt batteries in there, run them in series to make 12 volts. And for like $200, I could put in 2 golf cart batteries, and those are designed to be charged down and charged up. The issue with that is it may cause a little havoc, though, with the smart charging system. The smart chargers, what they do is they can sort of tabulate how many cells there are, check the resistance, and that's how they know when to stop charging. If you have batteries connected in a parallel or series and then you put them on a smart charger, it confuses the charger, and then it will overcharge the batteries or undercharge them. And so that's why we try to use these smart chargers. Where is the charge? Is it in here, or where's that charger that we use? I don't know where that yellow, the one of the yellow ones. It was laying. There was one laying here. Oh yeah, there it is. So this is a marine charger, and these are some of the ones we use, and you can get them with multiple banks, 2, 3, 4 banks, meaning that it runs a lead to each and every battery, and it monitors those batteries. And these are used in boats and RVs. Like my tour bus outside has 4 batteries for the starting engine, and then an additional 4 batteries for the coach. And the ones for the engine run on in 2 parallels as series to make 24 volts. And then the ones for the coach are all simply paralleled to make 12 volts. So you have 4 8D batteries, and that runs the lights and all the 12 volt stuff in the coach. So I've used a special charger that charges all the batteries individually. And the way the charger works is it sees the 4 batteries, even though they're hooked up to 24 volts, it sees them individually. It doesn't see 24 volts. I don't know how it works exactly. It's way out of my price range. It's out of my pay grade, how that works. I just know that that's how you have to do it. And what's really important is keeping things cool, making sure nothing gets overheated, not overtaxing any of the systems, making sure that, there's no major load on any of the wires, because fires are a problem with the DeLorean and with a lot of rear engine cars in general. And so it's just because of the way they're set up. You got a lot of heat concentrated in one area. And with the DeLorean, there are no metal firewalls. Everything here in the car is either fiberglass or wood or carpet, all of which are flammable. So we're taking extra precaution. That's another reason we're doing so much of the matting, is because that's additional fire protection. We're going to do that around the engine area and this back area, this bulkhead. We're going to put it underneath there, and we're probably going to end up switching the motor anyway. But the point is that we want to make sure that all of this is covered, because it helps prevent some of the fire risk as well. Working on, I talked about this. This is just a little door lock solenoid that's a push-pull. We're going to hook this up to the trunk puller, and it's going to operate in two ways. You'll be able to use this remote to pop the trunk, as well as we've got this cool little red button. Check this out, little flush red aluminum button. You'll be able to press that and it'll pop the trunk. But sometimes the trunk, it doesn't really pop because there's not any really spring action. So what I got was these are some well, they're trunk poppers, and what we'll have to do is, like, we'll have to drill a hole, mount these down in here like that, and they will add some springs so that the trunk will literally pop. You hit the button on the remote or that, and it'll come up a good, at least a half an inch or more. But the point is, it'll raise up over the latch. And over here, we're going to do an LED conversion for the headlights. We purchased these. These are not sealed beams, and we're going to be putting in some really cool. I put these in my other car. These things are goofy bright. Look at these. Jesus. These things, they have little cooling fans in them. Check that out, dude.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that a trip?
They're even in my color.
Yeah. Right, red and black. Hey, so these things are goofy bright, and they really just change the look of the car tremendously. They look fantastic. So those are going to be put into here. Nice bright white lights, and we'll be able to blind the shit out of anybody who comes our way. It's going to be great. Okay, we were doing some padding up here on the dash area, because we're replacing the dash with the plastic version as we showed before. This kill mat's good stuff. It's real thin, but it's not only sound deadening, but also for heat or thermal protection. Because, you know, sun comes down through the windshield onto that dash. It's plastic, you know, and this will just help keep heat from radiating through the glass of the dash and into the under area when the sun's beating down on you right above. So anything you can do to help helps. Also, getting these headlights ready. These are super cool. These are LED, super bright. These are awesome. I may have a link for these that I can put into the description. I'll check for those of you who want them. But yeah, we're getting just getting the car insulated with this. This is a much thicker butyl insulation up in there. Anything helps. And of course, we've been working on the Nightrider 4000 car. I say we, Omar, he's been busting his ass working on this thing, which is a whole other saga. If you're just tuning into this one video, this is the screen used car from the Nightrider 2000 movie, and had a little crash in the front of it. Let's see what the work has been done. Let's check it out. So yeah, man, he's been working on this thing pretty hard. I mean, this whole thing was broken, and it's been hand reformed and reshaped. You know, a lot of this stuff looks pretty rough, but this is how bodywork is. I mean, the whole car is a fiberglass car, you know, on a Dodge Stealth. So doing a lot of patchwork, fixing some of the seams and things that go in here. Fantastic work he's doing, making it look awesome. You know, this whole thing had a crack. It's got to be filled in. We're using some aircraft stripper to remove all the different layers, because the car was originally a red car, then painted red, then painted black, then vinyl wrapped. So we got to get all that off. This looks terrible, but it's going to look better when we get it back to metal. Repaint it. Look at him, he's having a cup of coffee. He's been sanding his ass off on that thing for a week, making me want to finish it now instead of selling it.
My back hurts.
Yeah. How would you like to be a body man all the time?
Yeah, that must
How about
suck.
not? Yeah, that would suck. Well, guys, that's the update for today. Hey, I'm trying to blog daily if I can. I can't do it every day. It's kind of hard. Got a lot of stuff going on. As you know, we're getting ready for this move to Vegas. Working on a bunch of cars. Been a little understaffed lately. But this car's going to be really cool. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff to this car. So if you're both a DeLorean fan or a DeLorean Time Machine fan, or just a fan to watching custom cars being built, you'll enjoy this series. I think this is number 8 so far. You can go back and watch the first one. We've been doing this for a long time, guys. So if you're just now finding this video, this is what you're into, check the playlist, go back and watch the first one all the way to the next one. And subscribe and share to your friends if you enjoy this kind of stuff. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me for the day. I'm Videobob.